My topic is Water Conservation in the United States by Ethan Edinger. Water is one of the most important resources on Earth. Without safe drinking water, humans cannot live a healthy and productive life. Yet water scarcity affects more than 40% of the world's population. The US is third in overall freshwater consumption, but per capita, we use the most water per person in the world. As citizens of the United States, we can take actions to reverse the problems of water scarcity through water conservation. From the individual level to the local level and even nationally and globally, there are many things that can be done to preserve this precious resource. As an individual, small changes can help conserve water for the whole of the United States. As individuals, we can conserve water by turning off the faucet when we brush our teeth. We can limit baths, which use a lot of water, and take shorter showers and shower only when necessary. For example, on some days, we could potentially use a washcloth and wipe off a bit and use dry shampoo to clean out our hair. All of these things can help conserve water at the individual level. The EPA estimates that standard shower heads use 2.5 gallons of water per minute and that the average shower lasts over 8 minutes. So if you're able to take a 3-minute shower, you would save over 12 gallons of water per shower. Toilets are also a big user of water, behind only clothes washers and household water use. We can buy low-flow toilets or simply place a brick inside the toilet tank to minimize water usage with each flush. Another simple way to use less water is for individuals to emphasize using neighborhood pools rather than having to have a pool in our backyards. This way, household water use is decreased. Most importantly, we can plant landscape that requires very little water, implementing xeriscaping more often. Xeriscaping is the process of landscaping or gardening using native plants or non-plant products such as river rock that reduce or eliminate the need for irrigation. All of these things can help conserve water at the individual level. If every individual does their part to conserve, eventually we'd be able to save a huge amount of water for the United States. On the local level, cities can use their power as a municipality to pass city ordinances that encourage conservation. For example, the city of Plano could impose taxes on water use to tax individuals who use above a certain threshold of water. This would encourage smart water usage. Additionally, cities like Plano could also set up large water collection tanks or cisterns that could collect rainwater into big areas and then filter that water and send it to households as clean, available water, or use it to irrigate public spaces. Other current programs could be expanded to help with water conservation, such as limiting lawn watering to certain days and hours. With a large population like Plano's, if every person saved a gallon a day, we could conserve as much as 104,442,195 gallons a year. That's a lot of gallons. Small changes can add up to big improvements. On the national level, the United States could take on even greater scale conservation projects. Freshwater availability would drastically increase if all the coastal regions could implement desalination plants that remove salt from seawater and result in portable or fresh water. Since 95,471 miles of the United States is pure coastline, these coastal communities have a ready source of fresh water from available seawater if it could be purified. That's a lot of potential space for desalination plants. These facilities are expensive, but despite the high cost, the United States could allocate some of the military budget towards developing environmentally friendly desalination plants in order to utilize seawater for household purposes. For the remaining inland parts of the United States, better technology could be developed to tap their groundwater sources, and farming regions could have a nationally mandated drip irrigation in order to prevent evaporation of water. The United States could also add huge subsidies for states that are able to conserve a huge amount of water. All these methods could benefit conservation of water in the United States greatly. Lastly, on the global scale, if the United States puts programs into place promoting water conservation, we may be able to use our political influence to create international treaties for developed nations to conserve water. If we can continue our consumption habits, our way of life will diminish as we know it because the resource of fresh water will become extremely limited. We need to focus on water conservation methods because we are wasting this precious resource with current global water usage practices. Water conservation is a global concern because water is a basic human need for survival. Since 97.5% of all water available on the globe is saltwater, an important source of fresh water globally is desalination. This could allow us to tap into the large source of water available. Through international cooperation, we could require a certain threshold of desalination plants and require a mandated conservation of water usage by limiting water usage to a standard based upon the number of people in the nation. Similar to the Montreal Protocol, which provided for international restrictions on products that harm the ozone layer, countries could have mandated water usage standards. Also, an international confederation could be established to help those countries who cannot afford desalination plants. More industrialized nations could provide the technology and resources to create this technology in every nation. The United States can share technologies with countries such as Israel, Saudi Arabia, and South Korea that have extensive conservation programs in place. Worldwide, our water is a limited resource, so the more the US saves, the more is available globally. If each person can make changes to their water usage individually, the benefits would really add up on the national level and the global level. Water conservation starts with the individual. Individuals working together at the local, national, and global level can make a huge impact on the water usage practices of our planet. Together, we can implement a water conservation program that preserves this precious resource. The little things that each of us can do to save water will ultimately affect the water status of the earth. So next time you brush your teeth or start to take that long, hot shower, think about water conservation and how you can do your part to make sure that more clean water is available for our world.